All right, our next report this evening is the schedule for the code review committee of the remaining ordinances that have still to be harmonized. And I think part of it was just to enter this into the record, so just so everybody on council had a copy of it. But if there are any questions, I guess we can direct them to members of the code review committee.
Right, with Bernie, Joe, or me, and there really isn't much to report. It's just the schedule speaks for itself, and it's basically it's not set in stone. Sometimes things move up and down, because of some request or another. So if you have a request, let us know.
Okay.
Do you want to say we're close on the streets and sidewalks? Is that Deanna? No? Yay? No? No, we're not? No, I thought we were working on that. The littering, I think we've taken up, correct? We're working on that. We're sending that.
That should be next, littering.
Okay.
But we're sending it, right, we're sending it to PEC? Isn't that, we've asked them to weigh in on, we're looking
Yes.
at placement of trash cans, whether there's any evidence, if there's any new thinking out there about whether removing trash cans actually might reduce the litter. We're seeing a lot of litter coming around the trash cans, and so we've asked Sustainable Princeton and PEC to take a look at some of the research.
We are going to have a special parking meeting on March 20th. I forgot to mention that in my report. So that was one of the meetings we had, a special meeting. So we will be having that meeting on March 20th.
And you'll see.
And we should be discussing many of the parking issues at that meeting. And I would just reiterate to the code review committee, number one, thank you for all of your work. And then also, before you get down into the weeds with the attorney, if there are issues that are coming up in your discussions, that I would encourage you to bring those forward to council first. I'm always happy to put a work session on the agenda so that we can hash out some of the if there's any outstanding issues before they get put into the ordinance.
Mayor,
Yeah.
actually, on the 20th, we're going to go over a number of parking issues that we won't be looking for a decision on, but really to lay the groundwork so people can be thinking about them. So when we get the parking study back in August, we'll be ready to move. But
Perfect.
There are at least half a dozen issues, I would say, that will, ordinances that should come out of the parking study. So we really want people to be thinking about it ahead of time so that once we have our data, we can move.
Okay, perfect.
And we don't want to waste anybody's time, so we are doing that. And one of the, Joe, I was glad she reminded me of the litter, because that is one that there might be some questions. But I know, because I wanted to ask Mark, because I heard that in Montclair they took away the garbage cans from the downtown and then they decided to put them back. So we want to hear about that. Is that correct?
It did. In some locations they did.
We also have to be really careful, because I think Public Works took away the garbage can outside of a business that had paid for the garbage can and then ended up with a whole bunch of loose trash outside. So I think we just have to be careful.
Well, any kind of change like that, we would definitely have to do it deliberately and carefully and evenly.
But also, this was a case where Planning Board had started to ask businesses to provide these trash cans or to buy the trash cans, as if they had carry out food. And in fact, as a policy, I know they thought they were doing a good thing, but as a policy, we may want to require these businesses to have the trash inside, a receptacle for the trash. So it's all up.
Yeah, understood.
So we'll make sure and have a work session if it rises to that level of, if there are any decisions that we think are not no-brainers, we'll bring them here.
Okay, terrific.